Good morning and happy 2021. The lectionary, which assigns particular daily readings from the Bible, sets Ecclesiastes 3 as the first reading of the new year. It begins, "For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven," and then goes on to assure us that there's a time for everything from dying to dancing, weeping to healing, loving to mourning, and then assures us that I have seen the business that God has given to everyone to be busy with. It speaks to a question that many have pondered. How much of our lives are predetermined? At one extreme, some believe that we really have no choice about anything, that whether we get up at 6 a.m. or sleep in until 10 was determined at our birth, for there is a role for each of us to play in the great plan that has involved everyone and every action since the beginning of time. At the other extreme, many believe that everything is determined by free will, that there is no meaning to anything, no grand plan, and it doesn't matter what we do or fail to do. Most of us believe that the truth lies somewhere along the line of free will, that we are free to do good or bad, to be brave or weak, to be kind or cruel, and that while our choices may accelerate or slow the final outcome, in the end, all will be well. And that is the Christian perspective, as related in the story of the Garden of Eden. God gave Adam and Eve everything they needed, but forbade one thing to them, but gave them the free will to obey his dictate or to do as they chose. And, being human, temptation was quite irresistible. And then for the gospel reading, Matthew quotes Jesus and makes it plain that it's we as individuals who decide to do good or not to do so. He tells us that when we choose to do good for the sick or the imprisoned or impoverished, it is our choice. Truly, I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me. Well, for me, those three concepts are sufficient to convince me that I'm personally responsible for what I do, for the choices I make, to accept that I have free will. I have choices to make in my life, and I can't blame anyone, not even God, for making them for me. Too often when we do something wrong, we look for excuses. I had to eat that third piece of cake because Mrs. Brown kept offering it to me, and I didn't want to insult her. I had to buy the new computer because so much has been added to computers since I bought the last one, despite the fact that I already don't use the vast majority of the bells and whistles. And clearly, if I am late, it was the alarm clock, the traffic, the TTC, and your building security that were to blame, not the fact that I left home 20 minutes too late. Now, free will does have limitations. Wanting to be the next great Raptors star is not quite enough. My sex, height, talent, age do preclude that possibility. Being heir to Her Majesty's throne is limited by birth and parliament, and my ability to sing did eliminate the great folk song career I envisaged. Being born in a country where girls do not get an education or boys are drafted into children's armies eliminates their career possibilities. Fleeing homeland for the safety of a refugee camp across troubled waters and leaky crafts is a miracle in itself. And once accepted in a new land, anything else seems possible. We all can think of circumstances and people we know who have done extraordinary things in difficult situations, and people who had everything given to them who ended up bitter and unsatisfied with life. Really, the choice is our own. To dream and to try and to fail, and to get up again and try once more, to win and to share, or to lose and rise once more. I like challenges, but I hate doing anything for the first time, and it's hard to combine those two. The first day I was at university, I was a grade 10 dropout, 6 months pregnant, and my husband sat and held my hand to keep me from running home. I really wanted an education. I wanted the diplomas on the wall. I wanted to learn all the magic things that university represented. but I was scared to death that I wouldn't be able to do it. The second day and all the others that followed were a snap. But that first day. One of the things you have to do to be successful is to accept that you may fail and that the world will not end if you do. You have to accept that the dreams you have may not be the ones that will provide your happy ever after. The dreams you had as a teen will not be the ones you have as a parent or a grandparent. The career you dreamed of may turn into something altogether different. What can stop you dead in your tracks is not what others do. It is the self-imposed limitation known as, I can't. When you look at a challenge and say, I can't, you can't. But when you say, I can, or I'll try, chances are you can. I'm not saying succeeding is easy. Generally, it's hard work and grinding days and nights of study and endless hours of unpaid work and mortgaging your future and learning new ways. It doesn't matter if it is learning to be a good spouse or starting a new business or conquering the piano, mastering a trade, or endless university exams. You pay a price for fulfilling a dream. The trick is to make sure that as you fulfill your dream, you do it in lockstep with Jesus, that you help others as you succeed. You employ and train others, you help without always being paid, you care and you help and you do for those Jesus described as the least of these, my brothers and sisters. For in caring for them and giving them opportunities and protecting them, you're doing it to Jesus. It really is up to you to decide. Nothing is impossible. But it helps to keep your dreams and expectations in the realm of the probable, or at least the possible. Hitch your wagon to the star that lit the skies over Jerusalem that wondrous night, and then soar with the optimism, assurance, and confidence to do good, to be generous, to be true, and your dreams transformed. We all have different dreams. There's no right or wrong, unless your dreams require that you harm or take advantage of someone. So dream and let your dreams take flight. My fondest prayer for you is that 2021 will find you freed from the shackles and constraints that COVID has imposed, and brimming with plans ready to set your dreams into motion. Use your time now to plan wisely, and may your dreams flourish and your grandest dreams come true. So may it be. Amen. I hope you had a happy New Year's Eve and managed to stay up long enough to welcome 2021. I hope that each and every day that follows will bring you joy, the realization of your great potential, and that the way forward will be filled with the satisfaction that only service to others can bring. Be goodish, and I hope we can get together again next Sunday, or whenever you get around to sharing my thoughts.